Hey guys, Novus here and welcome back to From the Depths. So, just gonna set the timer. I remembered. So, gonna do the collision avoidance for the AA destroyer. Now, somebody did suggest something down in the comments for me to try out, and sort of thought about it more, and yeah, I've got some ideas. I've got an idea, basically, of what I want to do. I'm not 100% how this functions, so I'm going to have to fiddle with it a bit. Where did I want to put this? Because I'm not 100% if it works from the placement of the automated control block itself or not. So I'm not 100% is where I want this block to sit. But if it's ahead, I'm not sure if I even have to worry. Oh, hiccup. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I necessarily need to worry about which way it's facing. I don't know. I'm gonna have to test and find out. But I believe this should function based on the vehicle. So, activate if object in front within 50 meters. Should be, if there's anything ahead of the vehicle, 50 meters ahead of it. I don't know if it necessarily means the control block itself, which in like that case it could detect the walls. In which case it'd have to be on the outside of the ship. So I'm not 100% how this works. I'm going to find out by testing. And what it's going to do, I'm going to need 2 of these. Which controls am I already using? I need to double check. Hang on, let me get out of paint. Alright, so I know I had balancing going on. This is a roll angle. I actually need to replace these with PIDs anyway. As far as I'm aware, I'm only using K and H. I haven't actually bothered yet with pitch propulsion or balancing or anything. In that case, what I can do... Hang on, you... I'll just set it to U and J. That'll work. Alright. So I wanted to know which controls I still had available exactly. Alright. Object in front within 50 meters. Now again, I'm not sure if it detects from this block or what, but we'll find out. Okay, so really simple. I shouldn't even need 2. What am I doing? Why do I need 2? Okay, alright, hang on. I didn't think this through. Okay, so get rid of that. We just need you. Alright, so you. Well, that already tells me that there's a problem with that. Rip. Okay, so the idea was gonna be, but I'm gonna have to better figure out how to set this up. So I'm gonna have to place the control block very carefully for this. You and that would actually have to be, whoops, like so. Double check this one. Yeah, I also stuffed that up. There we go. Okay. So what should occur is if it does detect something ahead of it, as you can see, it starts reversing and turning. Now, if something was to identically detect it at the same time, like an identical build was to be coming straight at it, and you know this occurred, it'd be turning this way and this one would be turning this way, I believe. Hang on, let me think. Yeah, and they should eventually sort of just go off in the same direction. Now hang on, let me Yeah, it definitely would, yes. So they would go this way, and then eventually they'd sort of stop detecting each other, and they just go off this way. So eventually they might even turn themselves around. But it should prevent them from hitting one another. So let's see. Find out. So all I gotta do is move that, then. This is gonna have to go into the nose of the ship. Yeah, okay. Alright, so... I mean, it's not the best placement, but it should work. Alright, so if I did this, just sort of blend it in a little bit. Object in front within 50 meters, control, and then it was J, I believe. Oops. No, it was U. There we go. Okay. What? Hang on. Let me turn you around. Paste. Aha! There we go. Alright, so it just means we're gonna have this little electric symbol in the front. But what it should mean is, if I was to save this up, sure, it's no big deal, it's easy to rip out. Okay, so if I was to have this one here, and try and go straight backwards basically. And, whoa, I need to unlock the camera. Load one of these up. Without me in it. That's fine. And then we're just going to set ourselves to full speed ahead towards them. And see what happens. Oh god, it's a bit wobbly. Hang on. Nope, stop drifting. Come on, all we're trying to do is have a head-on collision here. Just let me do this. Alright. So once we get within range... should take control away from me. Which means it should take control away from the AI. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm watching a speed on the right at the moment. To see the moment it just gets cut down. Should happen any moment now. All will collide. We will not collide. There we go. Okay, so it's kicked in. Now I can still fight it and take control. Which means I can chase my ship. But it is absolutely working its butt off to avoid. I mean, I can even crank it up to full speed. At this point, this will occur. But if I let go, we'll just sail past. So here's hoping this works as collision avoidance. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So destroy all vehicles, and I'll load another one up. Yeah, whoops, I did not put myself in there. Let's do this. So yeah, that should sort that out. Now we just need some PIDs for balance. We're going to need to deal with... What? We have to deal with roll. Now... Yeah, this is across the board, so it should be a general PID. I believe, but I'm not 100% if a general PID will actually affect the propellers and so forth. As I believe we had, yeah, propellers underneath. I know it'll affect the jets. I believe it'll affect the propellers. So we will find out in just a moment. Roll. Yep, okay. Shouldn't need to worry about test stimulus. Should just drop it to the water. And this can go away. Here we go. Alright, so let's put this up to like 0.2. Let's give it a bit of extra strength. So that green line there, that's what we're after. Like, that's sort of where we are. The blue line is how much power we're putting into the thrusters to try and, I guess, stabilize this line. Get them as close to the red line as possible, as the red line is our target line. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's perfectly stable. So, what's going on here? The white line is, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of our prediction time type situation. It's still not 100% clear. So, alright, we're probably going to need... Please stop that. Jesus. Alright. Let's give it a little bit more power. And we can probably even take up the derivative time, as that will sort of prevent wobbling back and forth and so forth, and try and stabilize the amount of power we're giving it, as far as I'm aware. So what we should see is a bit less deviation. Yep, looks like we got a bit less. Okay, so let's maybe take that up to 2.0. Let's see what our deviation's like then. Deviation went way up, but it set to 2.8 for a moment there. I don't think it likes that though. Alright, we might have to take up or even down the integral time. Hang on. Yeah, see, it's trying too hard with that. Don't know if I want to give it too much power though. We're giving it too much power. It's going to be a problem. Alright. Let's see how we go with that. Now I can just take integral time out of the equation. As far as I'm aware, that is usually the best way to go at the beginning so that you can actually balance it out. I probably should try and get it balanced like so, then put the integral time back in just to correct for that tiny bit of error that would be left over. So I want to try and... Okay, so yeah, we are able to do it, but I feel like it looks like we're not giving it enough power to try and correct in time. Yeah, see, that seems to have seems relatively the same, but it seems to tighten up a little bit compared to back here. Okay, so let's try taking derivative time up. I need to deal with the overshoot, so I need it to be a bit more rigid. As far as I'm aware, that would be done by increasing the derivative time. But at the same time, I don't want it to get to the point where the output is saturated. Like so. As it'll fail to actually be able to interact properly. So yeah, you can see that's gone crazy with the output. that it's trying to go for, so it's not really helping. Alright, so let's try starting with a low integral time. Actually, no, a decent sized integral time probably we'd be better with over the next 5 seconds. Okay, so that looked alright there. Yeah, that's looking, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Alright. Ooh, that's looking very good there. Okay. Because it's the number of seconds over which it's trying to correct. So, I mean, we were having moments there where it was having big spikes back and forth. And so this should attempt to compensate over a longer period of time. Maybe might be beneficial to set it even higher. Try and correct over a fairly decent length of time so as to work with the entirety of how sharp it's going to spike up and how sharp it's going to spike back down, and basically cut across, you know, just trying to smoothen out that wave, as you can see there. I don't know, I feel like maybe we're better around 5, but let's try getting it to a point where we can actually get it stable again. By increasing it, and if that's not possible, then I'll take it back down to 5 and maybe decrease a little bit around that area and sort of find the sweet spot if I can. But as it stands, that's not too bad so far. I don't want to have this up too high. That would be bad. Because if there's any sudden spikes, it's not going to notice it because it's trying to correct over too long a period of time. Sort of ideally, it's taking too much information into account. That doesn't take in the sudden variable. It's, yeah. As far as I'm aware, we don't want to go too high with this because of that. But if we could probably settle it around 5, I think that'd be okay. This is looking pretty good, but yeah, I think it was probably better around 5. Let's just, for the sake of craziness, because I still don't know what I'm doing with these, really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to learn with it, but it's doing my best. Just trying to figure it out. So that's how you do it. You experiment with it and you find out what's happening. So it doesn't appear we've done too much in terms of actually correcting this, but we have brought the actual amount of output that's having to be utilized down. Alright, taking it back to 5. It did not like that. Okay, so output is getting repeatedly saturated. Okay, so potentially, let's try this. Let's see how this works. Let's actually try and bring our output down to a better level, but at the same time, have it correcting over a decent period of time and see how that affects it. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, what happens if we bring it further down? It'll have less strength for when we do need that sudden kick. If the ship manages to actually rotate itself over in any serious way. Yeah, I feel that's too low. go back to 0.4, and I think that's 0.04, and that should be okay. Get back in there, and I've also got to put another one on. General one though, or an AI one, I don't know. Yeah, we'll do it for general pitch. Yeah, it should be fine. I'm not going to need to do anything with the pitch, really. I'm mucking around with it. Okay, so let's put that to 0.2. That might be a little too much because we do have the big thrusters. That's fairly smooth already. Alright, so let's do that one over, yeah, fairly short period time. Let's put the derivative up to 2. Let's put that back down to 0.1. That should be better, to be honest. And should stabilize a bit here. To a degree. Alright, so this is what I was talking about before. I can totally set it for something like this. What'll happen, I'd actually have to have a propeller on the bottom at the front or whatever, but she would actually try to nose up. So once we started sailing through the water, that thruster wouldn't kick in until the nose went too high up, and the propeller on the bottom would actually hold the nose in place, and so we'd actually maintain like 15 to 18 meters per second. But I don't feel like it'd really be worth it, and we do want our guns to be able to fire, so we want to keep this thing fairly stable, and as such, no test stimuli, we should be fine. Alright, so it should be no, it is not. I don't need to correct. Oh, that's a problem. I mean, it corrects it on its own, sorta, kinda, but yeah, it should be. There we go. It should be trying to correct this. Tell me I broke it. What happened here? Wait a minute. Oh. Okay, so the setting I had for 10 is gone anyway. Yep, that appears to be working fine. Okay, so 0.0. There we go. Oh, problem. There we are. That is going hard. I mean, it appears to be, but I guess it isn't really. It's not going that hard. Alright, so let's... Oh, wait. Just have to plane controls. Let's chill out. Now it's kind of just stuck on. It's taking us to -3 in pitch. -2, -1. I don't know what I've done to it. These are kind of just on. It's activating both sides. I don't know what I've done. I think I broke it. You know what, as long as it stays fairly stable, I'm okay with that. These are definitely... Oh, these are not set up correctly. Okay, we have a problem. Roll. Roll and... Oops. Roll. Still appears to have taken control of them. But... Roll reverse. Roll reverse. Roll reverse. reverse, and roll reverse. Then we need to set these likely. Oops. Okay. Roll reverse, roll reverse, and roll reverse. And then we'll do the same on this side. This is the upside to propellers, so you can kind of like yank the vehicle in either direction. So both sides would be running. Okay. Okay, so all that trouble I went to with trying to balance out the roll was basically a waste of time. Because, yeah, I didn't actually have any roll thrusters. Okay. Well, let's just save it and see how it does. I'll take it into a fight and we'll see if it tips itself over or not. Doesn't appear to be targeting or anything. Oh, there we go, it's starting now. So I definitely need to work on targeting for it. Thinking those... yeah, it's gonna need some kind of radars on the four corners or something. Like on the four little bits instead of missile detectors, because yeah, it really needs to be able to aim. It's pretty terrible at that around. I still believe some of my detection there won't be working out. Something I need to have a look over. Oh, it'll be fine. Sort that out probably next episode, and then we've got the lands, and this thing should be pretty well set up. Doing alright with the rest. If we could actually destroy those rounds, it'd be alright. It doesn't necessarily need to, it mainly just needs to take down rockets and stuff. It's meant to be taking on air units. So this is pretty, like, bad matchup for it. It should really be doing is taking on multiple other enemies. That's not too bad now. 62k, almost 63. I mean, it's 120k to get two of them out, but once they're finished being fixed up, and we have the enemy's planes coming in, so get a couple of those out. And this should be how it plays out. So we've got incoming torpedoes. Whoops, those are leftovers. It's fine. We can handle that. Alright, so the enemy shots are all ricocheting off. We're almost all. At least a solid majority. Missiles are kind of getting zapped. They need work. And at this stage, we've got our guns on them. Few hits for now. Sort of punish him for getting close. This one's sticking around, but that's because it's damaged. I have to assume. If not, it's just crazy. So you can see that one's firing off in both directions now. Each of the turrets should be trying to pick a better target. So they should be willing to split off and kind of shoot at different enemies. Fair enough. Okay, so we got them ganging up on this one. Bugger's flying into it. It's goodbye to that one. So it looks like, yeah, even with honestly just one of these we'd be fine, but with two of these set up, we should be fine to be able to start spraying stuff down, especially once we get the lamps set up to take down missiles. And hopefully also enemy torpedoes. I mean, anything that's flying around we should be able to deal with. Not to mention this should really complement our fighter very well. As long as we don't get in the way of this thing's shots, we could totally be up there actually dogfighting with these things while one of these things is down there just sort of spraying shots up. And our fighter is totally ready to go still. At the same time, I think I was working on this one at one point recently, so that way it can also get in there and back us up in the fights. So the missiles are doing pretty good now. Don't have too much trouble with the tracking. Maybe we did lose one missile, but oh well. And the guns would eventually sort of end up locked on. But yeah, it's a pretty good backup for them. At the same time, we've got our own fighter that we can sort of control and so forth. So yeah, one way or another, should be able to deal with it. So that's pretty much it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, hope you guys have a good one. So yeah, catch you guys in the next one, guys.